We're going to start off today's class with the no-knead bread. No-knead bread is so great because it only usually has 4 ingredients: flour, salt, yeast, and water. How easy is that? One of the other great things about it is that you can use one basic recipe, the basic recipe that we're showing you today, to make all kinds of things: rolls, pizza, calzones, strombolis, breadsticks that are to die for, all kinds of things, all from one easy dough recipe. And you can make up the recipe, let it sit for a little while on the counter, and then keep it in your fridge. And then when you want to go make bread, you just pull off a glop and make up what you need for bread that night. So super, super easy. We're only going to be showing you the artisan bread today, but in later episodes, we'll show you how to do some of the other yummy, delicious recipes that you can make from this no-knead recipe. So let's get started. All right, let's get started making the bread dough. You are not going to believe how super simple this is. All you're going to do is pour in your warm water. Not boiling, not cold, but warm to hot tap water. You're going to pour that in your bowl first. You're going to sprinkle in your yeast. And then all you're going to do is add in your flour all at once. No tricky dicky things, just adding it all at once. And then add your salt in. And then you're just going to mix it up. Now, some people like to use spoons. I don't so much like to use spoons, but doing it for this nice video that we're doing today. So you can see this is so fast and so simple. All you're doing is making sure all the water and flour are all incorporated together, and that's it. No kneading, no doing anything else. Just mix it. It's just going to look like this. Really loose, really simple. That's it. You're going to cover it, not tight, just cover it, put it in a warm place to rise for 2 hours. We'll be back when pick up at that point. Okay, we're back now. The dough's been rising for a couple of hours, and the dough's all nice and loose. As you can see, it's really easy to grab. My daughter Calista is going to be demonstrating how to turn this nice dough into bread. So let's get started.
Okay, so first, if you have a cooking or a cutting board at home like this, it's nice because you can always use a counter as well. But just make sure you have a clean surface. Just grab a handful of flour and spread it on whatever surface you're using. This is just a little bit of cornmeal. You're going to take some and just spread it on to whatever you're cooking with. This is just bread stone, or this is a pizza stone, but you can use a cookie sheet. I do that all the time. So don't use too much because it's going to be on the bottom of your bread, so you don't want it to clump up. I also am going to take a handful of flour and sprinkle it on top of the dough. It's going to be easier to work with that way. And then the same thing for my tongs, but we did that a little out of order, so you're just going to have to remember that when you make your own. So you're going to take your dough, and however much you're going to want to make for the loaf that you're going to do, I'm going to do probably a pretty good size because I'm only going to put 2 loaves on here. So let's see. These are also some, I don't even know what kind of scissors these are. Are these probably bread cutting scissors? And they're just really, they're not sharp at all, just sharp enough to cut your bread, so they're not going to cut anybody. And I use that to cut my dough with. So don't be shy, get your hands in here. So I'm going to roll it up. Right now I'm just going to do a long loaf, and these are going to be used for mostly, like, you can make baguettes out of it or dip it in sauces, but it's not going to be for like a sandwich bread, not this kind, because it's going to be a little too small. And the great thing about this dough is that you don't have to make it neat. You can play with it. This one's going to be just long, and once it cooks, it's going to look beautiful. So this is pretty much what I'm going to do. You don't have to do much. You want to make the ends a little bit more even, but you don't have to smooth it out or anything. The ends can be crackly because it's going to turn out beautiful. So I'm going to move it over here to my stone and just keep it on there. And you want to give it enough room on here to where it's going to grow. It's going to get fatter and whiter. So that should be about enough room for that. And I'm going to do one different kind of loaf. This is more of a bowl. So you want to grab your dough, cut it, throw it on here. I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit more flour. Roll it around. This is seriously something that anybody can do. I am not like a gourmet chef or anything. So this is, I mean, it's literally, my son could make it and it's going to turn out beautiful. So that's what you do. I mean, I touched it maybe 5 times and it's going to be nice and round. If you look at the bottom, it's not neat because that's going to be the bottom of it. So you're going to set it on there again and again. That's going to get, you know, pretty big. And then I'm going to take my bread scissors and I'm just going to cut a couple little slices in each of these. For a couple reasons I'm going to do that. One, it just helps it rise better. It helps the heat get in there. And then it looks nice. And also the topping that we put on it, it's going to help absorb it inside. So, okay, after you have made your loaves, we are going to want to add toppings for taste and appeal. So the first, you want to start with a melted butter base. And this is, I pretty much put this on every time, no matter what kind of bread I'm making, because it just adds a little bit of liquid, so it gives it a nice golden look when it comes out. And it also gives it that base to be able to add anything on it so it sticks to the bread. So just start with melted butter. Then I'm going to add garlic to it. We love garlic, so don't be shy on the garlic. And this is just grated Parmesan cheese. Again, we are a Parmesan family, so go ahead and dump that in. Or you can add as much or as little as you want, or not at all if you don't like Parmesan. Although you would be missing out, but that's your opinion. Then I am going to just mix it all together. And then I'm going to just take a brush, and I'm going to brush this on both of the breads because, like I said, just a really good base. Do this after you cut your bread because it gets the flavors inside as it's rising, and then it's there as it cooks as well. I brush it again after it comes out of the oven, but this is just the beginning so that you can get those toppings on there while it cooks. Okay. Be careful of runoff. Make sure there's not too much runoff on the side because after it cooks or bakes, it'll bake onto the pan. So you just want to be careful about that. Okay, this is a mixture that I just put together myself. It's all dried. So dried onions, sun-dried tomatoes, salt, garlic, parsley, basil, and oregano. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle this on top. It's going to add a really good flavor to it. And then this is just dried parsley. And this is obviously just for look. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle that on top. Give it a nice artisan look to it. And then this one here, I'm not going to do anything too fancy. I'm just going to do just shredded Parmesan cheese. And then I'm also going to add my parsley onto this as well.
While the bread is rising, we're going to preheat the oven. So we're going to turn it up to 500 degrees. And we're also going to be putting a cookie sheet or a grill pan down in the bottom of the oven, just empty right now, but you'll be putting a cup of cold water into it when you bake the bread to give that crusty golden brown look on the outside. I'm also going to be putting the bread up here on top of the stove. So as it's heating up, as the oven is heating up, the bread can rise a little bit higher before it goes in. So this will take about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and show you what to do when you're gonna bake it. All right, we're getting to the end. Almost time for hot, crusty bread. We're going to do a couple things in quick succession. So I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do, and then you're gonna watch me do it. We're gonna open the oven door, pull off the bottom shelf a little bit that has the pan on it the water's gonna go on. I'm gonna put the bread on the pizza pan on the top oven, and then pour a cup of water into the cookie sheet, close everything up, let it cook for 5 minutes at 500, turn it down to 450 for about 15 more minutes until it's golden brown, and then it's done. So let's get started. There we go. Hot, crusty bread in only 20 more minutes. Hi, we're back. As you can hear, the timer's going off. And as we peek into the oven, you'll see that the bread is beautifully golden brown and it smells delicious. I'm gonna get some pot holders and take it out, and we're gonna take a peek.
It just came out after cooking for 20 minutes. This is the garlic and butter Parmesan mixture that we had made previous to them cooking. And I'm just going to go ahead and do another little swipe over all of them. This gives a little bit more flavor to the bread, and then it actually helps soften it up a little bit. Not everybody likes it soft, so that's your call, but it just definitely gives a little bit more flavor. So just, yeah, go over it until you have the desired amount on there. You can also use this as a dipping as well. And that is our artisan segment.